hits. All of African music. Your day gonna sound better when you choose to listen in 99.2.
Now you're serious. You're not just kidding me.
Radio Ara.
So good.
Live from Stuttgart City, Germany.
It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Non-stop African hits. Broadcasting live from Stuttgart City to the world. 99.2.
99.2.
Radio Ara FM. A place where music lives.
Yes, and I'm telling you, this is where the plays news. You've been with me for some hours, and this is the time we're going to be talking about what is happening around the country known as Africa. That's our continent. So if you're in diaspora, you know what I'm talking about. If you are in Stuttgart City, you know what I'm talking about. If you're in Germany, you know what I'm talking about. If you're in France, Belgium, and Netherlands, and talk to me. Remember, our social media platforms are quite now open. Radio RFM on Facebook. That's where we're streaming live. And remember to join us on our YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe and get more news on what is happening actually in the continent known as Africa. This is your home of African music. Anita Richards here, the most underrated one in the entire Africa. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of things that are happening around the continent of Africa, and I'm going to be talking about the news of the day. And before we do that, there is one thing I'm going to be telling you right now, wherever you may be listening to me from. I'm talking about one and only Okpesa. Remember Okpesa, to go to www.okpesa.com and register and bet Master. Remember, Okpesa is one that has a lot of games out here. It's a very nice betting company out there. So if you want, remember they're giving actually a bonus of 1.8%. So remember, the more you deposit, the more you get inside okpesa.com. So let me not talk much, but now let me tell you what Okpesa is through our gentleman here who did this very nicely. Okpesa, hey.
Je, unataka kufurahia burudani ya kipekee na kujifunza zaidi kuhusu michezo mipya ya kubeti? Karibu Okpesa, jukwaa lako bora la michezo mitandaoni na kubeti. Okpesa inakuleta michezo ya kusisimua kama vile Aviator Free Range na michezo mingine. Tunachokifanya Okpesa ni kurahisisha kubeti kwako, kukufurahisha na kukuelimisha kuhusu michezo usiyoijua. Ukiwa nasi utapata uzoefu wa kipekee na kujua mbinu bora za kushinda. Kwa nini uchague Okpesa? Kwa sababu tunatoa program bora za washirika zinazokupa fursa na kujipatia hadi shilingi milioni 10 za Kenya. Jisikie mwenye kujiamini na kufurahia michezo ya kubeti. Jiunge nasi Okpesa leo kupitia tovuti yetu www.okpesa.com, kwani hapa ni burudani ya kuelimisha na fursa ya kuwa mshindi. Okpesa, furahia burudani ya ushindi. Beti Master.
I'm telling you, Patrick Master, Okpesa here from your home of African music. Remember, this is one of our sponsors of the shows today. And Diaspora Chronicles, here we are from your home of African music. And as I said before, for those who want to get me on our social media platforms, please do that, because this time now, I'm going to be giving you on what's happening in the continent actually known as Africa. And that's where I'm going to be taking you right now very smoothly. Very smoothly. So, listen to me. Yes, and as I said, remember to check us actually on Radio R 99.2 FM on our Instagram, Radio RFM, home of African music on our YouTube, and remember Radio R on Facebook, where we actually live, Radio R_FM, where we are at TikTok and X. Remember to be joining there. Remember, my WhatsApp line is actually right now open. +49 163 +49 163 That's where you're gonna be getting me live. Let me know what you think about what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be taking you actually all over Africa to tell you what has been happening all over Africa. So join me as I tell you what has been happening actually across Africa. These are the latest. Remember, we're going to be talking about Kenya, but before we talk about Kenya, let's talk about Libya's parliament, which has approved the new central bank governor. Remember, this is Libya Eastern Parliament. Remember, on Monday, they appointed Naji Mohammed Issa Balakasim as the new central bank governor after the former governor, who was in and known as Sadiq Al-Kabir was fired last month by the President Council in the capital known as Tripoli. Hey, let me tell you, things are happening here in Africa. Remember, the parliament spokesman Abdullah Bihing said Monday that all 108 lawmakers voted in favor of appointing Belkacem, who previously was the central bank's director of banking and monetary control. So what is happening here is that the decision came as the part of UN facilitated agreement between the parliament and the high court. Hey, things are happening here in Africa, I'm telling you. Libya, yeah. So the High Council of State to appoint a new leadership for the country's central bank. So many things. Remember, last month the President's Council issued a decree to appoint Mohammed Abdul Salim Al-Shakir, the former deputy governor, as a replacement for Al-Kabir. That the President's Council in Tripoli is allied with the government of Prime Minister Abdul Habi that controls western Libya. So what are we talking about here? Remember, Libya's parliament has approved the new central bank governor. So many things are happening here. Gonna be taking straight to UN extending actually security mission mandate for another 1 year. Remember, the Kenyan police is actually right now in Haiti trying to bring a little bit of peace. So remember, the UN Security Council are doing this. So I'm gonna be back to you in a very short break. So remember to join us here.
Namba by Canada 99.22 FM. Diaspora Chronicles by Canada.
Only underground radio station.
This is Radio RFM.
This is
Overheads.
Yes, and as I was telling you right now, remember the UN Security Council voted unanimously on Monday to extend the mandate of the Kenyan-led multinational force helping to tackle gang violence in Haiti after brushing off a call from Haiti to talk to transforming into a UN peacekeeping mission. Remember, the Kenyan police actually have been in Haiti for some time right now, and according to the final draft obtained by the Associated Press, China and Russia succeeded in eliminating the paragraph in the resolution that acknowledged the call by the president of Haiti's Transitional President Council and the UN General Assembly to start a discussion on actually moving to UN peacekeeping force. So what I'll telling here, because last Thursday we can see a call by Edgar LeBlanc Fields was the first public announcement to support by a government official since the United States proposed a UN peacekeeping mission in every September as a way to secure more resources for the Kenyan-led mission. Things are happening here. And remember, nearly 400 Kenyan officers are now in Haiti, joined by nearly 24 police officers and soldiers from Jamaica. The officers actually fall significantly short of 2,500 pledged by various countries, including Chad, Benin, Bangladesh, and we are seeing barnacles for the mission. It is also seriously short of funding. But what does the US say? The US Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield told the Security Council that the 15-0 vote sent a strong message to the people of Haiti. The world is standing with you, and we are unwavering in our efforts to help restore security and stability and put the country on the path of the peace of stability. And that's what is happening actually in Haiti. So many things happening out here in the African continent. But before I continue telling you about that, I just want to let you know about one thing. For those who need some quality services, remember we have Asura Empire Limited. Remember the Asura Empire Limited is a cultural design agency, and they always offer event planning. So if you want to do an event, remember Asura Empire will come in for you. Remember they do digital marketing. Remember they're in for artist development. So if you are an artist, an upcoming artist, remember to contact Asura Empire Limited. Remember this is a cultural design agency. And remember media coverage is one of the things. And remember Radio RFM falls under the Asura Empire. And remember car hiring services. If you want to move from one place to another, remember to contact Asura Empire. Remember the music production, very creative and motivated music producers and the Asura Empire. If you need influencers actually on your marketing strategies, remember to contact them out here. Entertainment, remember event coverages, branding. If you need something like this pesa that I'm wearing out here, or any other brand that you are branding out here, remember to contact Asura Empire. Their email address, which all of you are seeing actually on the screen here, apart from those listening to me live. Remember Asura Empire at asuraempire95@gmail.com, or visit actually their website www.asuraempire.com. Check them out there. They're both in Germany, they're both in Kenya. They're gonna be helping you out. So check Asura Empire Limited. Remember, this is a cultural design agency which are here to help you out, sort out your things. Before that, I'm gonna be taking you back to the African continent and tell you what is actually happening. I promised to talk about something to do with the African migrants or refugees, as you call them, who continue to seek way to Europe. We have had around 250 jobs from Kenya to Europe. We have had a lot of things, but we forgot that there are still migrants actually who are coming to Europe. So the United Nations says it has registered, actually, listen to this, more than 350,000 Sudanese refugees and asylum seekers protection in North Africa so far this year. So you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that kind of such a huge number. And remember, with 97,000 migrants entering Libya since last April, so we are talking about this year April. So it is important actually to highlight that the challenges do not actually start in the North Africa. A holistic across a regional response is required that starts the route from the journey. So this is what they're talking about. So Dana Pala, that's the director of the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, who was quoting this. And remember, overall, Dana Pala says that between January this year and August this year, it is estimated that over 134,000 refugees and migrants departed from from northwest towards Europe, a slight decrease from the previous year. A slight decrease, that one is a good one. And remember, the director of the International Organization of Migration, also known as Palijat, if you have to say it in German, also briefed the council, saying that acknowledgement the factors that drive individuals to leave their homes and severe challenges of navigating migration routes is one of today's pressing issues that needs firm and urgent action. To our African leaders, you know what we are talking about. Why are they migrating from Africa to Europe to seek work? So what is happening on our African countries? Why we don't have such kind of job offers out there? So I'm gonna be telling you more about that. But can we jump correctly right now to Israel, where the Israel army is actually says it has launched an incursion into southern. Things are happening outside here, and remember, Israel ground forces, they have launched actually an incursion into southern Lebanon. That was actually today on the 1st of October, in violation of Lebanon's sovereignty. And remember, these localized ground raids will target Hezbollah. Now listen to this: strongholds that threaten Israel's towns, that is Kiptus, and communities along our border. That was the spokesperson of Israel Defense Forces saying that. And remember, he quoted, for decades, the UN Council resolutions have called on Lebanon to make sure that its territory is free of non-government armed groups. But the UN Council resolution from since 1701 from to 1700 and 1701 the Security Council resolution 1701 from 2000 agreed upon Israel and Lebanon. Requirements requires that there be no armed personnel, assets or weapons actually other than those of the government of Lebanon and southern Lebanon. Things are happening here. So for those listening and joining me right now, I'm trying to take you across the continent Africa to tell you what is actually has been happening today, being the 1st of October 2024. And for those listening to me right now, and for those who has joined me right now, I'm gonna be telling you something to do with the Asura Empire Agency. Remember, they offer different services here, be it event planning, be it digital marketing, be it media coverage, be it car hire services, be it music production, be it influencer marketing, be it entertainment, be it event coverages, be it branding. Remember to contact them there on their website www.asuraempire.com. You're gonna be getting a lot of things. If you're an artist, remember to get into the website to register. If you're a DJ, get into their website. There is a portal there. Register and tell us what do you want them to help you. Remember, they are in Germany, they are in Kenya, so meaning East Africa, you are all welcome. Remaining Europe, you are all welcome. And for those joining me right now, as I told you, I'm gonna be taking you through the continent Africa to tell you what's actually happening throughout this continent. We have seen what is happening in Libya. We have seen the extension of the Haiti, the UN, which has extended actually the Haiti security missions. We have seen the migrants migrating all the way from the refugees who are seeking way to Europe. I've told you about the Israel army. I'm going to be telling you something about the DRC, which has recorded in 2023 actually its highest number of victims of sexual violence ever. DRC, Jamani. New data revealing that the teams with Doctors Without Borders and the DRC Health Ministry treated more than 2 victims and survivors of sexual violence every hour in the Democratic Republic of Congo last year. We should do better, Congo. This is one way we should do better. We love you because you play rumba music. I think we should turn this rumba music to educate you when it comes to this sexual assault. So to be precise, remember 21,166 victims of sexual violence sought care in 2023, and the group said actually this Monday that the figure is far highest number ever recorded by Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF. You're gonna be googling out there what does MSF meaning. If you don't, I'm gonna be telling you here right now in DRC. Remember, it is based on the data from the 17 projects which are actually being done in 5 provinces, with 4 located in the DRC Wharton East. Remember, they have been experiencing a lot of things here. Victims, who are mostly women and girls, were treated in displacement camps near Goma, the capital of the North Kivu province, not Kiev in Ukraine, but Kivu province actually in DRC. Residents of Eastern DRC have suffered from armed violence for decades. More than 120 armed groups actually fight for power, land and mineral resources, while others try to defend their communities out there. Remember, some armed groups have been accused of mass killings, rapes, other human rights violations, the violence which has actually displaced more than 6 million people in the east of Congo. Early this week, we have seen Human Rights Watch said both Rwanda and Congo's army have killed displacement camp residents, committed rapes and obstructed aid. We should do better. Instead of keeping peace, we are doing such kind of things to our fellow sisters and mothers out here. The frightening trend actually has continued, with teams having treated 69% of the numbers across all over 2023 in just the 5 months of 2024. Where are we heading as a continent? Where are we heading as a country known as Congo? But why? Let me take you through, because I don't have a little bit time. Thousands, remember Tiben protest outside China embassy. Remember Tibans, this is a very good story that I'm going to be telling you next. But before that, I'm going to be telling you something to do with Nigeria, which has actually turned 64. So Nigerian turns 64, and Tinubu vows end of tunnel is near. Some protests economic hardship. Too many things happening in Nigeria. So remember, Nigeria today marked 64 years of independence, and in televised address the president called for patience amid tough economic times. Remember, Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, notably listed security gains and investment in farm machinery among achievements that will help easy the economic pressure. Remember, he said, and I quote, "I am deeply aware of the struggles many of you face in these challenging times." The president who took office last year said, that is Tinubu. "Our administration knows that many of you struggle with the rising costs and the search for meaningful employment. I want to assure you that voices are heard. As your president, I assure you that we are committed to finding sustainable solutions to alleviate the suffering of our citizens." That is Tinubu. Something I want to break down for the numbers of President Tinubu's 64th independence address to the nation. Let me break it up. So today, he actually addressed the Nigerians in Nigeria, celebrating 64 years. 300 bandits eliminated in the northeast, northwest, and other parts of the nation. That's one of what he said actually in his speech. $7 billion inherited forex background paid. You're gonna be talking more about that. Check it on www.cradior.com. $33 billion inherited reservoir in 16 months. Check it out more. Remember, 30,000 trillion naira ways and means debt cleared. That's what he has done, as Tinubu says today in his address addressing the Nigerians. 3 million technical talents program are aimed at building Nigerians' technical talent backbone. 2,000 John Dere tractors, John Dere, 2,000 of them, and other farming equipment approved for local assembly by the Federal Executive Council, known as FEC, in 6 months. And remember, national debt ratio reduced from 97% to 68%. Nigeria, over 3,000 Boko Haram and bandit commanders eliminated by security forces. Remember, the president announced the launch of National Unit Conference, known as the 30-day camp, whose recommendations will be considering and implemented. So many things happened today in Nigeria, and to Nigerians, happy Independence Day. Remember, there's something that I read somewhere. Let me just read it here. October 1st, National Day of Survival. Hey, those are Nigerians who went actually to the streets. Most of them carried a lot of placards saying "End all attacks on democratic rights," reverse fuel prices, electricity, tariff and food prices to pre-May 2023 rates. Some of them drop all charges, release all detained protesters now. Some of the Nigerians demanded an end to all anti-poor neoliberal capitalist policies. So many things happening in the Nigerian capital, in the Nigerian country actually. And this is your home of African music, bringing you one-on-one from Stuttgart city to the world. Remember, there is no any other station that speaks your language. Remember, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is the time to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Radio RFM. We are actually right now streaming live 99.2 FM Stuttgart city, Germany, and on Facebook, Radio R. On Instagram, Radio R 99.2 FM. On TikTok, we are at Radio R _ Radio RFM _ and on Twitter actually, now known as X. Remember, I have one more story to tell you on what's actually happening around the continent of Africa. And remember, the International Culture Fest ignites Karachi with music and dance extravaganza. Remember, this was at the World Cultural Festival at Karachi. I'm going to be telling you more about that after this short break. I'm going to be telling you what is actually happening in the Kenyan capital. I have Nairobi in Kenya. I've been telling you the deputy president was to be, the motion was tabled in the parliament that is supposed to be impeached. So stay tuned as I bring you more on this.
Je, unataka kufurahia burudani ya kipekee na kujifunza zaidi kuhusu michezo mipya ya kubeti? Karibu OkePesa, jukwaa lako bora la michezo mitandaoni na kubeti. OkePesa inakuletea michezo ya kusisimua kama vile Aviator Free Range na michezo mingine. Tunachokifanya OkePesa ni kurahisisha kubeti kwako, kukufurahisha na kukuelimisha kuhusu michezo usiyoijua. Ukiwa nasi utapata uzoefu wa kipekee na kujua mbinu bora za kushinda. Kwa nini uchague OkePesa? Kwa sababu tunatoa programu bora za washirika zinazokupa fursa na kujipatia hadi shilingi milioni 10 za Kenya. Jisikie mwenye kujiamini na kufurahia michezo ya kubeti. Jiunge nasi OkePesa leo kupitia tovuti yetu www.okepesa.com, kwani hapa ni burudani ya kuelimisha na fursa ya kuwa mshindi. OkePesa, furahia burudani ya ushindi. Beti Master.
Oh yes, I'm telling you, Betty Master. And right now, I'm going to be telling you something about Shonston Boutique. Remember Shonston Boutique? This is where you dress better than yesterday. Remember Shonston Boutique? You can find them on www.shonstonboutique.com. So if you want to dress better than yesterday, this is the chance. This is the time. Remember, they have offers out here for the month of October. Oktoberfest. For those who are in Germany, you know what we're talking about. But here we come. Shonston Boutique coming all over. Remember to follow them on their social media platforms. That is SBF Ashon Design on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, now known as X, and how do you call it? TikTok. And remember on Pinterest, they are actually at Shonston Boutique. So remember to join them there. Follow, actually go to the link www.shonstonboutique. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be getting a lot of things that are happening inside Shonston Boutique. And as I talk of Shonston Boutique, why don't I mention about the services that the Asura Empire Limited offer? Remember, the cultural design agency that offers event planning, digital marketing, artist development. Remember, talking about media coverages, car hire services. Remember, music production, influencer marketing, entertainment. Talk of event coverage, talk of branding. Remember to contact them on www.asuraempire.com, because this is where you're gonna get a lot of things. They're doing a lot of stuff out here. Look, check them out. Check the Asura charities out there, helping 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people out here. There's so many things. So if you have your company out there and you need a lot of services, remember Asura Empire Limited is the best company to do it for you. They are located actually in Germany. They are located in Kenya. So join us and tell them, show them what you can. They're gonna be showing you what you are supposed to do. And coming up, yes, to the Diaspora Chronicles, telling you about what is actually happening on the continent of Africa. And I go straight to the capital of Kenya. Remember, where they want to impeach the deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, 291 MPs have appended actually their signatures supporting impeachment of the Kenyan deputy president Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, we have seen controversials here and there, and today Kibwezi West MP, who is known as Mwengi Mutuse, formally tabled his impeachment motion in Parliament, citing that the grounds are concrete enough to kick him out of the office. On Tuesday afternoon, which was today, actually the 1st of October 2024, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula read out the impeachment motion against the deputy president after confirming that 291 MPs had supported it, hence surpassing the tier holds. Remember, for any motion to be tabled in Parliament in Kenyan government, it requires support of at least 117 lawmakers, and we can see they are more than 117. They are even actually more than half of it. Remember, the lawmaker tabled 100-page document indicating that he had satisfactory evidence to support his grounds and prove that Gachagua, that is the deputy president in Kenya, is not suitable to remain in office. Remember, Article 145, Section 1 of the Constitution provides that a member of the National Assembly supported by at least a third of all the members may move a motion for impeachment of the president or deputy president on the grounds of a gross violation of the constitution. Remember, having examined Moses Wetangula now saying, and I quote, having examined the special motion by Kibwezi West MP, I find that the special motion meets the requirement relating to the tier holds set in the constitution. Remember, he added that I have also satisfied myself that the number of members who have appended their signatures in support of special motion exceed the number of minimum tier holds of 117 members in this house. Kenyans, let's be serious. We want to impeach the deputy president. Remember, while tabling the motion, remember the MP Mutuse noted that the DP's conduct in the past 2 years violated the oath he took to assume office. For this and more, remember to log into www.cradior.com. You're going to be reading each and every detail. Why is he supposed to be impeached today? But as I conclude on this story, some of the grounds that he tabled include telling Kenyans on ethic lines, undermining the presidency, violating the oath of office, and contradicting the National Cohesion and Integration Acts. Kenyans, we need to be serious, and I'm telling you, that's what is happening in the continent of Africa. Thank you so much for those who have been joining me. Diaspora Chronicles, all the way from Stuttgart city to the world. Remember, this is Europe's #1 African station for Afronews, Afrobeats, and the world hits. Remember, everything that happens in the African continent, updates happening in the interviews happening in African continent. This is where you're going to be getting them. This is the only station that speaks your language. For non-stop African hits, remember to go to www.cradior.com or log into radio.net. That's where you're gonna be getting us live. Remember, African music, this is your home. My name is Candido Richards here, the most underrated human being in the entire Africa. Thank you so much for those who have been joining me. Thank you so much for those who have been joining me on Facebook, on YouTube Live. Remember to subscribe, share this to your friends. Let's get tomorrow at 4 p.m. And remember, at 6 p.m. Flavor in the morning. Thereafter, we have Mid-Morning Hour by G. Weru, and we have the Flame Nation, the great Flame Nation, courtesy of Denoski. He always calls himself Man Like Noski. And remember, each and every show that you listen on your home of African music, here we are. Lastly, head on to Asura Empire Limited, www.asura empire limited. That's where you're gonna be getting a lot of services that these guys are offering out here. So if you want to plan your event anywhere, if you're in Germany, if you're in East Africa, if you're in Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, they're gonna be doing this to you. So contact them. Their contacts are actually on our screens. And for those listening to us, +49 163 6573. And for those who are in Kenya, East Africa, +254 742 803 324. Remember to join to call that number or write on the email asuraempire95@gmail.com and get their services. Thank you so much for those who have been joining us. Remember, until tomorrow, remember to catch the Diaspora Chronicles from Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Adios.
Only underground radio station.
This is Radio RFM.
This is Overhits.